This year at ASCO, I'm going to present a meta-analysis of over 13,000 patients and our results, our findings that are showing that with the use of a biomarker, which is the basis of personalized medicine, we can really improve patients' outcome. So we ran this analysis with a lot of different experts in the field across the nation, including Dr. Razel Kersrock, who is leading the Department of Precision Medicine at UCSD San Diego Moores Cancer Center. So we decided to study this because even if it's pretty intuitive that the use of a biomarker would improve, patients' outcome, there is still quite a bit of debate as to what is the actual impact of the use of a biomarker. And we think that this debate is particularly important in the phase 1 setting, where there is a very traditional belief that phase 1 studies are not about efficacy, but they are mostly about assessing side effects and toxicity of new drugs. So that's the main reason why we decided to study this. And our main findings, and we think that the results are quite striking, is that the use of a personalized approach, so when we select patients with biomarker, led to response rates of about 31% versus only 5% when we didn't use a biomarker. And we also had similar results with PFS, which is the progression-free survival. So when we select patients with the right biomarker, we had a progression-free survival of 5.7 months versus a little bit less than 3 months without a biomarker-based approach. So this is really, we think, the main finding of our study. But there are a couple of other things that I think really deserve to be mentioned here too. So the first thing is that targeted therapy in and of themselves were not effective. They really need to be paired with a biomarker. Indeed, if we use targeted therapy without selecting the right patients, we found in our meta-analysis that the response rate were quite low, about 5%, which is in fact comparable to the results that we have with regular chemotherapy. So that's the main second finding conclusion we have in our study. And the last thing I think that it's quite important too is that when we compared within personalized trials the type of biomarker, so we compared if the biomarker was genomic versus protein, and we found that genomic biomarkers performed better. Indeed, the response rates with genomic biomarkers were above 42%, which is pretty impressive in phase 1 setting. It's even pretty high for FDA-approved drug. So overall, we found that the personalized strategy, which is the use of a biomarker-based approach, led to improved outcomes for patients, even in phase 1 refractory population. So phase 1, so they studied new drugs in a relatively small population of patients, and these patients have exhausted, for most of them, multiple lines of prior therapy. So these are very difficult to treat patients, and even in this refractory population, we can get really high response rate, 42% with the use of genomic biomarkers. So we really hope that our findings can help reshape the intent behind phase 1 clinical trials, and that more patients can enroll clinical trials with the intent of having a real efficacy and not only to test toxicity of new drugs.
It sounds like huge benefits.
Yes. We really think it could change a lot, and that phase 1 trials could be used as therapeutic instead of only being used to test the safety and the side effects of drugs.
Are there any plans to advance this investigation into other trials or with treatment-naive patients?
Yeah, that would be something very interesting to do. Although it's not mostly done now, so most of the time patients that are, for whom we do personalized therapy have exhausted multiple lines of therapy, but we really think that there might be a higher benefits if we could treat patients a lot earlier. So it's like, if we give the example of imatinib for CML, so these patients, when they are treated early at diagnostic with the right drug, which is imatinib, which is targeting BCR-able patients, we really have improved survival. So in the past, it was about 4 years of survival, and now with this new drug, when it's given very early in the disease course, the survival is about 25%, and we really think that we could transfer this model to solid tumors too.